Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Cheese Room podcast. You're back once again with me, your host, The Caller, live from the Man Cave. And what a show we've got lined up for you this evening. I've got special guests coming out of my ears. So many, in fact, that one couldn't even be bothered to turn up on time. We've given up waiting for her. So give Shan a big reception when she does eventually arrive in the room. Apparently, she's stuffing her face with something called a sloppy Giuseppe. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I'm joined tonight all the way from Vienna. It's the Magic Mike himself of Vienna, HG. How are you, HG?
How do you know that was me? I'm all right. I'm a bit, actually, I say that. I'm a bit under the weather. I don't know if it's COVID yet. I guess I'll find out tomorrow. But otherwise, I'm all right.
Well, I sincerely hope it's not COVID. And did Mother HG enjoy her trip to Austria, Vienna?
I guess so. I hope so. I mean, it was the first time in 18 months that we've seen each other. But yeah, we didn't really go anywhere. She got to see her only grandchild. That's why she came, let's face it. And she got to be on the show. So I think she enjoyed that too. It's kind of worrying. She might want to do it again. But we had a good week, decent weather. And yeah, I guess I now have to prepare myself for next week and go back to work on Wednesday.
Oh, good stuff. Well, you know, it's good that you work at least 4 weeks of the year, HG. So I'm pleased about that. And joining us all the way from down under, Dave-O, who apparently is trialing a new adrenaline pill. Be careful, he may raise an eyebrow tonight. Dave, how are you doing, sir? You okay?
I'm very excitable state of mind at the moment. So watch out, cheeseheads. Could go off tonight, let me tell you.
Jesus Christ. What time is it there?
7:09 a.m.
Wow. AM. That's quite. Oh, that's not as bad. I don't know what you're moaning about. That's normal get up time.
I haven't started moaning yet.
Well, it's early days, isn't it? And
Correct.
a warm welcome back to a man who can get you a decent TV at a very decent price. Vlad, how are you, sir?
Hello, caller. How are you? It's a nice day. I think perhaps you are confused me with Seb. Seb can get you TV and microwave and small toaster oven for a good price. If you need AK-47 or 1980s Russian tank, I can help you with this. And of course, crack cocaine. I know you are a big fan, yes?
Big fan of crack cocaine. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure you'll get it through customs, but
I'm not the crack very much myself. I understand.
I hear that Dave's coming over this soon, so maybe he could be your mule.
Perhaps. I am not know Dave particularly well, but he does look like I could stuff a couple of pounds in him with no problem.
Up my tuchus.
He's a big lad. So, look, thanks for watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching this on catch-up. We appreciate it. If you're watching live, consider sending us a super chat to let us know your thoughts on the state of the world. As we look ahead to what has been dubbed El Sacico this weekend, although the irony of that comment is I don't think either manager is actually in danger of getting the sack. They're just incredibly, incredibly bad. Oh, and it looks like she's wiped her chops and is coming in the room. Shan,
hello.
How you doing? Cheese Room's answer to Adele this evening.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm very full. We were rushing back, had to do a beer run for Jack's dad. You know how it works on a Friday. Got to have the beers in. So, yeah, I'm here now. Don't worry, everyone.
It is nice that you have come up with a good story, Shan. But the truth is, of course, I do not leave you the key for the handcuffs, no?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we're gonna look tonight. As I was saying, Shan, we're going to look at El Sacico, our match against Man United. We did ask a Man United fan to come on, but they were not interested. They were picketing, storming the club, shouting Solskjaer out when I contacted them. So, they're not. That's why they're not here tonight. And we will look at our fantastic victory on Wednesday night that I know, Shan, you were really excited to host a watch along of.
It's honestly like torture.
Does that not just describe watching Spurs in general?
At the moment, yes.
I mean, yeah. I'll let your sloppy Giuseppe go down a little bit before I come back to you with any other questions.
I have seen this movie, Sloppy Giuseppe Goes Down. It is good, no?
Don't know. I've not seen that one, Vlad. It's a new one on me.
I will send you the link.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So, look, before we get into it, 100 likes, and apparently I'll deliver a 2.5-minute tribute to Harry Winks. So you know what to do. Hit the like button. If we get to 80, I'll start to worry and have to prep something. But hot on the heels of Dave's tribute to Daniel Levy, I'm not sure how this is going to go. We did ask for Shan to sing Hello from the Other Side as it's Halloween. At 100 likes, but she refused. So maybe if we get to 120, she cannot refuse. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Look, guys, it's Tottenham versus Man United at the weekend. Epic clash. Unfortunately, I can't go because of work commitments, but Shan will be there representing my seat, as is often the case. HG, how are you feeling about this one?
I don't know. I feel kind of calm about it. I don't think. Yeah, I guess I'm not so worried. Like, I know Man United have some good players, but I do feel that they play better when Pogba's in the team and he can't play. So, if Ollie gets something close to his best team out there, then they're going to be dangerous. But I think Spurs can certainly beat them. It's a pretty even game as far as I'm concerned.
Ollie's at the wheel. How good does it feel?
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Get David to sing Alan walking in here. I think he'd sing it with real passion as well, if I'm being really honest, Dave. He's such a passionate man. And Caller is Caller actually your first name? No. It's not, no. It's absolutely not. Shan, Man United, who you're worrying about? Oh, sorry, have you got your mouth full again?
I'm not even in the room.
So like I'm drinking from a bottle.
Sorry, there's a song about that. Shan, who are you worried about on Sunday? Who are the danger men for Man United?
I mean, the obvious one is Ronaldo, isn't it? I think he's your obvious one. I don't think I'm as much worried about United as I am us.
Good way of putting it. Do you want to elaborate on that slightly?
I mean,
have you got indigestion, Shannon?
She's just rushed the food down. It's a real problem.
I'd feel like we'd have a chance if we could actually do anything in the final third. Because Man United's defence is actually awful. It's just that we can't score goals. So unless the front three are at it, then I don't see us getting much out of the game. I think it could potentially be like a boring 0-0 classic.
Vlad, do you feel similarly to Shannon? Is there anyone in the Manchester United setup that worries you?
I feel Shannon very often, but what I think about the game is a different story. I am think that the one who is worrying me the most is the referee, because he will give them many penalties, and this is how they can potentially win the game. I don't know. I think they are play very poor football, and we on the other hand are play very poor football. And I think it could just be a how you say, a war of a nutrition. Yes.
Nutrition, good way of putting it. HG, you alluded to it earlier. They're not the same team without Pogba in them, aren't they? Are they? I should say.
Look, I don't think so. I mean, it all depends on where you play him. I think that United are better when he doesn't play in the midfield three and he's one of the attacking three, and he kind of creates that fourth midfielder. But I don't think. I mean, it doesn't matter really, does it? Because he's not going to play. You look at Bruno Fernandes. You know he's capable of hurting you. But yeah, where are they going to go? Is Sancho going to get his first goal? Most likely. Is Rashford going to play? Is Ronaldo going to play? Like, you don't really know anymore what their best 11 is. And I thought towards the end of last season, you kind of did know that with Man United. Now they've bought Sancho. You thought, okay, he would come in and play regularly, and he hasn't really done the business for them just yet. And I think signing Ronaldo has probably made them a little bit. I mean, maybe more unpredictable, but you just don't really know what's going to happen. So. I'm kind of like Shan. I'm more interested in what we do. I think United obviously have talent across their 11. So no matter who they play, they're capable of beating us. But some teams are better than others. And if Ollie does the type of thing that Pep Guardiola usually does and just kind of pick the wrong 11 to play against us, then we've definitely got a chance. I am more interested to see how Spurs are going to play. Are we going to see more of the the stodgy nonsense that we saw on Wednesday night, where we looked pretty good for 2/3 of the pitch, but didn't look like scoring at all. So it's a tough one. But I think to me, it's all about what Spurs try and do.
I'm going to take some exception to you, HG, and I know you enjoy this very much. I watched the game on a dodgy stream for the Burnley game, and you all say we don't create very much, but I think that perhaps you are talking out of your backside. I think that we create, but Kane does not finish, Lo Celso does not finish, Mora does not finish. On another day, when these things are go well, we are win 4-0, and you are all go, this is fantastic performance. I am a Spurs fan, I am in love.
Yeah, look, if we win 4-0, I might be saying that, but we didn't. And I don't think we created anywhere near.
It just means that we are put the ball in the onion bag and not over the bar.
Yeah, or the keeper didn't make saves and the rest of it. I just don't think that with the position we had on Wednesday night, we dominated the game, but we didn't really create much as far as I'm concerned. It looked like Burnley just kind of had their 4 defenders at the back. The 2 central midfielders stood in front of them, and we were forced to kind of try and lift things over them a lot of the time. It's only really once the substitutions were made that it looked like we could get the ball and turn and run at them. It was, I don't know. Like I felt it was kind of nice to watch us dominate a game. But when you've got the ball and you don't know what to do with it, you start thinking this is just not going to end well. Burnley are going to get a set piece and win this. Thankfully, it didn't happen. But I would like to see Spurs playing with a bit more verve in attack and where it looks like we have more of a plan. I just think that everyone is waiting for someone else, and it's frustrating to watch.
I think Lo Celso in the game, he makes some beautiful pass. I think that he's looked like he can be the creative player, but I do not know if this is the answer against Manchester United. I think that it is a much different proposition. They are going to try and play and not be Burnley and just try to stop us to play.
Yeah, and I think for most people, the question is, did Lo Celso do enough to stop Ndombele from starting? I don't know what you think, Dave.
I didn't get to watch it. Unfortunately, I asked Svetlana if I could borrow Vlad's stream, but she wasn't up for it. So I didn't get to do that. So I only saw the goal. But by all accounts, I heard that GLC had a good game, made chances, but I don't think he does enough. And I saw a few bit of highlights. He missed a good opportunity in the second half, which he should have put away. So my view of the formation on Saturday is that we know Maguire is not very mobile, and Lindelof doesn't seem to be. They're not at the races at the moment. They're back 4, so we've really got to pressurise them. And I would take the City approach. I'd have Son playing in the middle. I'd have Moore and Bergwijn, and I'd have Kane in the withdrawn Ndombele role. If we're going to play him and not cause a massive media outcry and drop him to the bench, that's how I'd attack it. I wouldn't have a similarly immobile Kane against a similarly immobile Maguire. Let's try and play to our strengths against their lack of mobility, and that's how I'd have a go at them on the weekend.
Well, I was going to stick with you on this, Dave. So early Halloween scare for you tomorrow, Shan. I don't know whether she's referencing your pizza and the after effects of it. I don't know. I fear United will have a big reaction after Liverpool morning, whether they want Ollie out or not. And there's similar comments, coming in. Hungry for a win. I like this one. Our attack versus their defence, stoppable force versus a movable object. Dave, should we be worried about a big reaction from Man United? And before we come to you, 55 people are watching this already and only 21 likes. Come on, hit the like button. It's free. It costs you nothing. Show some love for the Cheese Room tonight. Dave, over to you.
Yeah, I think there will be a reaction because the media attention of the week is obviously on them. They've lost 5-0 at home. Fergie looking all cross and angry in the director's box, Dalglish grin away like a Cheshire cat, and so the media attention all this week has been about Man United, right? And so I think there will be a reaction. There will be motivation. Now, whether or not United are talking to Conte in the background, I don't know. They should be. And they are going to be up for it. So they've had they go out and play us and put in a similarly limp performance, then the knives are really going to be out. And it won't just be about Ollie, it'll be about those players and them keeping their places. They spent a lot of money in the summer, a lot of money. And the general perception of United was They've spent this money on the final pieces of the jigsaw. They were meant to be challenging for the league this year. They finished second last year. So I think we will see a reaction for sure.
David, can I just bring something to your attention? If you are asked Svetlana for a favor and she says to you, of course, send me a picture. Do not send the Harbour Bridge. This is not what she is mean.
Maybe that's why you didn't get the dodgy stream, Dave.
Of course,
Maybe.
the caller gets all the dodgy streams, and unfortunately, Vlad has to see the pictures as well. It is disturbing. It is why people in England wear collar masks for Halloween. No,
Shan, I'm just going to throw this one here so I don't forget. We'll get back to the game in a minute, but I know you're chatting to us game currently. Can you ask the panel whether they would take Ericsson back now he cannot play? Now, the problem with this is I don't think the rules in England would permit him to play either. I don't know if any of you know that for a fact, but I'm sure I read that somewhere before. I know Daley Blind's got a similar device and plays obviously in the Dutch league, but let's hypothetically say he can play. Would you take him back, Shan?
Obviously, there's more to it than whether he can play or can't play in the Premier League. Obviously, the most important thing is if it's safe for him to play, whether he wants to play, whether he feels happy to play. And I think that's the most important thing for him. Of course, there is a massive Ericsson-shaped hole in our team at the moment. We've not really replaced him properly. So if he wanted to come back and he's healthy enough to come back, then yeah, I'd have him back. But only if that was his decision and if he is healthy enough to do so, because obviously he's got a young family and it's more important for him. He's got to consider that as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. HG, do you know what the state of medical players? You're a bit of a geek with stuff like this. Do you know where he can play?
To be honest, I haven't looked into it because I don't want him back. So there's no reason for me to. So it's look. If he, as Shan said, if he wants to play football, then great. If it's in England, then it's maybe somewhere else. But I don't. I've said plenty of times I'd like Spurs to think to the future a bit more, and Ericsson probably isn't that. And if he's got other options, he may want to go there too. But I wouldn't be looking to have him come back, even if it was possible.
Vlad, as a Russian, why did you not follow sort of the majority of Russians and end up supporting Man United? What was it about Spurs that made you want to play for us, watch us, and not the boys in red?
It is an interesting question, and Vlad has always said never read, or nekogni nekrasny, as we say in Russia. I think that for me, I am watched some footage in the 1980s of a man who wears number 10 on his back, and he has played the game beautifully, and Vlad is like to play the game beautifully. It was players. There were fantastic players when Vlad was a young man. You have your Hodl, you have your Mickey Hazard, you have Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa. They are fantastic. They are play the game in a beautiful way, and this gives Vlad a stirring in the trousers. And this is the first time that I am falling in love with football. And there is nobody else that I am watching my grainy black and white in my father's bedroom that gives me the same stirring in the trousers.
Yeah. I suppose that's
until I meet Shannon, of course.
It's a good explanation. Can
I just comment on Ericsson for a minute? If that's all right.
I was not allowed. Why the fuck should you be allowed? What is special about you?
I thought we had glasnost between us, Vlad. Surely.
There is no such thing as glasnost. It is made up bullshit.
Go on then, Dave. You want you to say, crack on.
Look, I think leaving aside the medical stuff and all that, I agree with HG. We need to start moving on from yesterday's Poch as heroes. Okay, he was a great player for us, but really in the last season and a half, he kind of checked out. I mean, his real opportunity to shine and get himself a big money, big Madrid, big Barcelona move was in the Champions League final, and he had a shocking game, and his performances really did tail off. So. I think from the health issues, obviously, I mean, I don't think we'd get the insurance for it, if anything.
No, I think that's the issue.
Yeah. So I don't, from a footballing point of view, I don't agree. We need to actually buy players who can, who've got potential, or proven players now who can sort out this issue of creativity in our midfield, and then we can ship the likes of Delhi, Ndombele and GLC out the club.
Well, nearly 70 people watching and 29 likes. What have you got to say about that, Vlad?
I think it is a disappointment. Last week, I think you all remember, we are asked for 100 likes, and Vlad does not get to sing. I am very disappointed by this. I am ready. I have the guitar in the corner, which I cannot play, but it attracts the ladies. And I'm ready. I'm here. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. And nobody presses the like button. It makes me very sad. Very sad.
Let's get this clear. So 100 likes today, and you'll sing a song.
This was last week. I cannot. Am I allowed to bring last week's show into this week? I do not know the rules.
Yes,
and if
yeah,
I did,
fine,
I will not
yeah.
stick to them.
If it gets me out of talking about how he winks and how great he is, yeah, absolutely.
If we are to get to 100 likes, I will sing a love song for Shannon. No.
That's a deal. That's absolutely a deal. Shan, would you play GLC then on the back of everything that's been said so far?
Yeah, I think he was one of our best players against Burnley. He was the only one of our front four trying to make anything happen, especially in the first half. Some of the passes he was trying to put through into the box for Kane were really good. It's just Harry Kane weren't quite at it. It's pretty standard these days.
It's pretty much his season, isn't it?
Yeah, he weren't really seeing what GLC was trying to do, but out of all of them, he was the one that looked most likely to do something. It's tough. I don't know if he's quite done enough to start ahead of Ndombele, but I would like to see it. I think it'd be nice for him to get the opportunity to do so. He's been outplaying Messi for Argentina, so there's a player there. It's just, can he bring that to Spurs? I'd like to see him have the chance to do that with a decent midfield around him. I think the games he's had this season, he's been playing in a midfield of Dele and Winks. That's going to hinder anyone. So yeah, give him some game time with Skip and Højbjerg. See how he does. I think he deserves a shot.
I think the choice here is between, do you want someone who breaks the lines by moving with the ball close to his feet, or somebody who he's tried to pass through the lines? And perhaps this is more of a question for HG, because he is the most analytical amongst us. You do not get to commentate on the German third division if you are not an analytical man. So what do you think, HG? Is it to pass or to run? What is work against Manchester?
I would play both, but that's just me. Given the option, I would probably go with Ndombele, as much as I like Lo Celso. But if I had to only pick one, I'd go with Ndombele. Lo Celso, I think, has only started one league game this season. That was the Chelsea one. And I think they both started that game. I don't know. I just... Lo Celso, Shem makes a very good point. Lo Celso played well on Wednesday. He also played with Skip and Højbjerg for most of Wednesday. That was not his usual Winks and Dele and the second teamers that he usually plays with. So there is definitely something to be said for it. We know he's probably going to work harder than Ndombele. So I like the idea of both, if I'm honest. So it's one of those calls where I don't feel like we can lose, because they'll both bring something similar, just a different way of doing it.
HG, sticking with you? Do you think what sort of lineup do you think Nuno is going to pick? Is it going to be West Ham or Vitesse?
Well, given how shoddily the Vitesse game went, I would hope it's going to. Well, the West Ham one was much better. I would imagine he'll go closer to his best 11 than his best second 11. But he's going to go his usual 4-3-3. The wide players are going to be narrow. We're not going to create much. We're going to hope for the best. That seems to be very much his style of play right now. And I haven't seen any reason to think he's going to change it. The issue is, who are going to play those roles. Lucas.
Do you think what do you think is going to give you the biggest opportunity to be smug about this week? Do you want to make any predictions?
Well, I wasn't really smug last week. It's just people seem to expect me to be, so I went with it. Predictions. I genuinely feel that if we decide to play with width in attacking areas, we'll create more chances and we'll win the game. But I don't think Nuno's going to do it. So what's the prediction? The Eric Dyer scores another own goal. I don't know. It's tough, because what I think I'm going to see tomorrow night is what I don't want to see. And although we've been winning league games this season, we're the type of team that will go after 10 games with 5 wins and 5 defeats. and we won't have learned anything. Because sometimes the system works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works against good teams. Sometimes it doesn't work against bad teams. We have basically got nowhere so far with these 9 league games. And, why not make it a nice even 10 with, 5 on each side?
You are saying, sorry, caller. I must ask something. You mention Eric Dyer and scoring an own goal. Do you think even Eric Dyer plays? Because I think Super Dave has a very good game against Burnley. Has he done enough to take Dyer's place? Because we will not see the son of the zombie movie man move out of the team. Romero is a fixed point in time. But perhaps Dyer or Sanchez, who is the better? I am see somewhere Ronaldo is play as a number 9. If you can find this comment, please put it up. I think Ronaldo is now playing much more like Andy Carroll. He stands still and hopes somebody gives him the ball. He is not the Ronaldo that we are remember from years ago when he beats half the team and puts it in the back of the net. So who is better against him? Is it Dyer? Is it Sanchez? I don't know.
I think Dyer will play. I mean, I think Sanchez was probably our best player on Wednesday night. I really liked how he played, but I think Dyer is a guaranteed starter. I think he started every league game so far this season. It's Dyer and Romero for me. But yeah, to the comment that I think Caller put up about the whole 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, to me it doesn't matter because it's all still too narrow. So whether Lo Celso is a bit further ahead than the other two, well, great. But all he's doing is the lack of space. It's just there's an extra person there. Like Bergwijn kept quite wide on Wednesday night, but Son doesn't and Lucas doesn't. They're all playing quite narrow. So if Lo Celso is there, Lo Celso might have more of a free reign. Dombele might have more of a free reign to go wherever they want. But we're not really playing with, we talk about 3 attacking midfielders and they're all narrow. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 as far as I'm concerned. The issue is more how we line up when we have the ball, and we have to create space for our players to pass to. We just don't do that.
There are 86 people watching and only 35 likes. So, guys, please do hit the like button if you want to hear a song from Vlad or you want to hear me wax lyrical about Harry Winks, which is probably the most uncomfortable thing I would have had to have done, actually. Yeah.
I can think of more uncomfortable things, but perhaps not for this channel, no?
Not for this channel. Not for this channel, Vlad. We'll keep that for yours, mate. Is Dyer, Vlad, do you feel I know what you've said, Big David to the Sanchez. Do you seriously think he's got a claim from one good game? Because, he was pretty terrible in the prior game, wasn't he?
I don't think that Super Dave has had as many bad games this season as perhaps we have seen in the past. I think that playing against Romero suits him, playing with Romero, suits him better than playing with Dyer. Romero is more mobile and he does not have to do all of his running for him. But I think that it is... the thing that Eric Dyer brings, perhaps, is more the quality of his leadership and his experience in the game, and helping the other defense through all of this. I don't think Sanchez has that same leadership ability, and this is why he will not play in the team. I think also there is a problem with Sanchez playing on the left-hand side of the defense as well, which is why I think you are always see Dyer there. Is this a long enough answer for you? I know you like the long ones.
I do. I just don't see it myself. I think that Sanchez is sort of like third or fourth choice easily. I don't think there's any hope personally that he's going to be in the team, and I'm quite happy about it because he's got a 50p for a head.
The problem is that he cannot play on the left, so you are faced with, do you take Romero out of the team, which you are not going to do because he is first choice in the centre back. So this is where Super Dave has a problem. Perhaps when he is play at his best, I think he is between Vertonghen and Alderweireld, and he's played very well as the centre of these three. Perhaps this is a better position for him, but this needs Nuno to change the way we play. And I do not see any evidence of this happening.
No, it doesn't look like Nuno wants to play the most logical formation for us, but there you go. Would you start Tanganga or Royale with cheese? Real is a bit more astute on the ball, but Tanganga is stronger and a tad nastier. Shan, what do you think? Real had a very good game, didn't he, in midweek?
He did. I would start Royale over Tanganga. Tanganga's very good defensively, but Emerson isn't bad defensively either, and he just gives us a bit more on the ball going forward. I think we need all the help we can get going forward at the moment. So I think Royal keeps his place.
He's up against Greenwood. Is he going to cope with that?
We'll see.
It's interesting when you look. Since we signed Royal, he started every league game apart from one, and that was the Arsenal game. And he came on at half time when Tanganga was taken off. You'd expect, unless he's really, really worried and thinks that Man United are going to be a tough game, where he might go Tanganga. But I think at home he's going to go with Royal, and I think Royal should start too.
I'd prefer to see Tanganga given a go at centre back. Because I think Dyer and Sanchez is like comparing the musicals "We Will Rock You" or "Mamma Mia," both are shite.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, but they've got good songs in, Dave, haven't they? I mean, how can you tell me "We Will Rock You's" got poor songs in? I mean, I don't like ABBA, so
Yeah, a musical written by Ben Elton sounds fantastic. My view is that we go with I'd like to see Tanganga have a go at centre back. Before he had his obvious brain lapse against Palace. He was playing well, that centre-back there. He's tough tackling. He's got Romero next to him who's better at distributing the ball out of defence. I'd like to see him have a go there. I think Dyer and Sanchez, we'd all have been cheerfully happy if they'd have been moved on in the summer. They kept on. Yeah, Sanchez had a great game against City. He had a great game, one of the best games in years. But he had Skip and Højbjerg in front of him. So I'd like to see both of them move on. There's too many mistakes.
I think the interesting thing with Tanganga is that apart from that silly, idiotic thing at Palace, I don't think he's ever really put a foot wrong for Spurs when he came in as a newbie under Mourinho. But he's always that person, and I'm guilty of it too, where you look for other options first. You might take Dyer for his experience, or that's pretty much all he's got on Tanganga. But yeah, Tanganga and Romero are basically very similar players. They look to win the ball early, they look to dominate the opponent, and maybe the two of them could work really well together. I suspect if we're going to see it, we'll see it in maybe in a Conference League game where Tanga partners someone like Romero. I don't think that Nuno's going to do it for Man United at home.
No, he's not going to do it, and nor is he going to play Kane in a number 10 role behind and get more pace up front. He's not going to do that either, is he? But he should do.
I don't think we're any doubt he should do. 96
Can I say?
I don't think he should do.
I'm going to talk again because I am Vlad. This is what I do.
Go on then, Vlad.
I think that the thing that Eric Dyer has perhaps over Tanganga and Super Davis, he can hit a long ball. He does not always get the long ball right, but he can pick out the wings, and on 50% of the times he is find the player. I do not see this from Tanganga. I do not see this from Super Dave, and this is a big weapon in the arsenal. No, I mean it is you are get the players to come onto you, and then you are ping the long ball up to Son and use the pace, and you are a big fan of going fast, David. Yes,
twice on a Sunday.
Twice. This is impressive, no?
Very.
This is the quality output you come
for a
to
man of your age.
Podcast. There are 98 people watching, 44 likes. So, in the words,
it was those Viagra pills it was the Viagra pills that you shipped over from Russia for me, Vlad.
You two
Russian Viagra is strong stuff, no?
Siberian works in any temperature. And Franco says Dyer is a big weapon.
Because he has taken Siberian Viagra.
Maybe that's why Franco's not going to the game, because he's worried about Dyer coming into the stands and getting him.
Dyer has a big weapon. He has come for me. Yes, I understand. But Franco is an attractive man. You cannot blame Eric Dyer for this.
You can't blame him, no. Thanks, Vlad. Davo, the Kane conundrum.
Yeah.
You want to drop him to push just behind Son, I guess, and Bergwijn?
Yeah, I think that it's now becoming a bit of it's now we have an issue here, don't we? Because I was an advocate for us selling him in the early part of summer, reinvesting the money. of which obviously there's a lot of people who didn't agree with me. But we're now seeing a situation where he's not playing.
Is this a case of HG's? I told you so, Dave. Coming up.
I would never be so vulgar to say I told you so. Never. But I'm right. Kane is he's whatever the 2%, 5% motivation has dropped off now. He's beginning to resemble Eriksen in the last 12 to 18 months of his Tottenham career. Greatest goal scorer of the generation, of all our generations that we'll ever see, really, since Greavesy. He wanted to go. He handled it badly. Let's not talk about his brother for once tonight. And this is where we are. And his game's dropped off. I remember I watched remember when we beat the Chelsea 5-3 on New Year's Day and he got a hat trick, right? And although he'd never had lightning pace, he kind of had the strength of pace to get past people. And that seems to have that's gone from his game now, I think. And the reality is that I would drop him deeper so he could link the play better, which he's perfectly capable of doing, and having more pace up front. That's what we're missing at the moment.
I'm going to ask you something, David. How do you judge a small sample here? I think perhaps you are a man who has made love at least perhaps 10 times in his life. If on 2 of those occasions you are finished much earlier than the lady or the man, I do not know what your preference is. Does this make you a bad lover?
I couldn't possibly answer that question.
Okay, Shannon. If David is make love to you 10 times, of course you are sedated for most of them, but he's arrived early on 2 occasions. Does this make him a bad lover?
I feel like they're very different scenarios.
But it is a small sample size. It is just judged the 2 times.
Did the 2 times come after we've had a really, really tough conversation, basically saying, look, this ain't working anymore. I want to go elsewhere.
Yes, perhaps.
But
he decides to stay and makes love to you after this in beautiful ways.
No, but if I say to Dave, sorry, Dave, it's not working, I'm going to Vlad's house now. But then I don't go to Vlad's house, and then the times after that are mediocre, but the times before that are okay, then it's a different scenario.
Particularly as I'm older than Shannon's dad. Just chuck that in the mix as well. Eh?
But she's like older men. It is okay, David. Do not feel bad about this. Shannon will make her choice.
Vlad, I think the metaphor that you're trying to give to us today is that, Kane last year, top goal scorer, greatest assists, scored a huge amount of goals for the club, has been a great player. But you can't. But on the sample size that we have got here, in terms of what we're doing at the moment, he's not started the season well. Now, there's always he came back late from Joe Lewis's Butlins holiday resort in the Bahamas, and he started training late. And then he starts the season slow and all this business. Well, we're almost in November now, okay? And his form's dropped off. We're not creating enough for him anyway, which is fair enough. But I do think if you look at the way we played against City, where we had more pace up front and we were pressing them more up top, then I think that's the way to go against a particularly slow Harry Maguire.
But you are perhaps Vlad give you the wrong analogy here, and perhaps this is more not about arriving early, but it's more about and I did not want to say this because I know you get upset about personal things, but on occasions a man of your age cannot reach the heights he used to reach. Yes. And when this happens, you are telephone Vlad and say, Vlad, I have a problem. Can you help? Of course, I say, here is some Siberian Viagra. And this helps you. Should we be looking at a way to help Harry Kane reach the heights that he has been before? Or should we just simply say, you are a limp dick, we do not want to talk to you anymore?
Well, what I'm saying in this particular tactical discussion that we're having about Harry, Viagra, etc. Against Maguire and Lindelof, I would go with more pace up front. Just for one night of passion, let's have more pace in the bedroom, yeah?
Fantastic. So you are saying give Kane the Viagra and drop him in from behind?
Correct.
Fantastic. I understand.
I think it's interesting that if you are going to go with a front four, because that's basically what that is, right? Kane might be a number 10, but he's a striker dropping deep rather than someone in midfield moving forward. Then you're asking an awful lot of Højbjerg and Skip to do everything else. Because maybe if you've got Lucas on the right and Bergwijn on the left, it might end up being more of a 4-4-2, let's be honest. And we did that against, I think, Man United, last season or 2 seasons ago, we tried that. It's going to be interesting. I think Man United's strength is in midfield. Right, that's like that they have lots of numbers, whether it's McTominay or Matic or Fernandes. Like they do have really good players in there that can physically dominate. And I just feel as if, well, if you're going to have Kane as the number 10 and you think that his effort is less than normal, then why would you put him in an area where he might have to do more effort than normal? Ndombele wanted to leave in the summer, just like Kane did. Maybe Ndombele is putting in, let's say he's putting in performances that are closer to what we would expect as opposed to Kane. So surely someone like Ndombele is more deserving of that number 10 spot. It's a really interesting thing because, as Gov says, and thanks again, Gov, for your donation, you'd have a bit more freedom as a number 10, absolutely. But as we've seen with Delhi, if the rest of the team isn't strong enough, you can't have a passenger in the side. And maybe having Kane as the 10 makes him a bit of a passenger. We have to get the ball to him so he can be the creative person that we know he can be. And when we were really good and Delhi was that person, we had Eriksen, we had Wanyama, we had Dembele, we had players that not only could win the ball, but we kept it really well, and it allowed Delhi to do whatever he wanted. I'm not sure the team is strong enough to have Kane as number 10 right now.
I just can I come back on that. So, we've got Ndombele in the number 10 role, and he doesn't strike me. Well, he doesn't come back and help out. We don't talk about Ndombele's industry when we don't have the ball. Okay, so I think it's the same scenario there. I think that what we've.
But we're playing Man United. We're not playing Burnley. We're not playing a weak side.
Hang on, but no, you've got McTominay and Fred are going to play in the pivot. Okay,
so maybe Fred.
We've got Højbjerg and Skip. They're going to have Fernandes playing in the advanced role. We've got, my view is Kane drops. We've seen Kane dropping deeper last season and having a great partnership with Son. This season, he can drop deeper and he can do more creativity there. And I know that it turned out to be a massive cock up and led to the Arsenal goal. But bearing in mind, he slipped and fell over just outside the Gunners' box. And then he raced back and he did he did race back and he did the tackle, which obviously gave him the goal. It does show an industry and a willing to track back there. I know it turned into a goal for the Gunners and it was a disaster. But would you have seen Ndombele slipping over outside the Gunners' box and then racing back to try and rectify? I don't think so. So I think.
But then, if I was trying to recreate what happened against Man City on the opening day, well, Kane didn't play in that game, so I wouldn't be having him either. Like, if you want to have a front three that has pace, that will press, then you need to have people that can get them the ball. And Kane needs the ball first. You need to have enough players that can win it. And I just don't think that's the right thing for this game. Like, I can understand Kane as a number 10 at times. If he's playing in a front two, him and Son together, I think would work really well. But not with Lucas and Bergwijn. Maybe even last season when he was dropping deep and being really good, he only had 2 players alongside him. There wasn't a number 10. There wasn't someone who could do that. So that's why he was being the 9 and the 10. I just think that it's to have 4 all-out attackers, which is what they'd basically be, against Man United might leave us a bit too open. It screams very much like the Arsenal game when we did exactly the same thing.
Stuart is saying in the chat, I don't know if it goes up for everybody, but he says only Tottenham would play the best number 9 as a number 10. I do not think he is the best number 9 in the world. I think Lewandowski is this man, but he is the best 9.5 in the world. And I think that Kane needs to play both of the roles because this is where his strength is. Because if you have a defender like Harry Maguire, who is he's slower than a 40-foot truck driving through Siberian snow, then you have somebody who is move away from him and he is confused. He's going, oh, bloody hell, do I have to jog this 3 yards to chase him or do I stay where I am? And this opens up. I think Kane has to play in this way against Maguire because Maguire is slow, and this will, if he follows Kane, this opens up space in behind for Son and Bergwijn. Shannon, please tell me if I'm boring you. I am being asked on the pod because you are want to hear my anal tickle advice, and when I'm giving you anal tickle, I am not just trying to be funny. You are fall asleep. Do you want Vlad to just be funny? I can do this too. You tell me what you want, lady. I'll give you whatever you are enjoy.
No, you're not boring me, Vlad. I'm just tired today. Been busy. Been a busy day.
Busy eating pizza.
It takes a lot of energy to get out of those handcuffs. I know. The first thing you all learn at S&M school is how to dislocate the thumbs. You must try this.
So look, we've got 110 people watching right now and 52 likes. If you want to see Vlad play the guitar, hit the like button. 100 likes and the guitar comes out. You can't say fairer than that. So do push it. While you're hitting the like button, please do consider subscribing. Every subscription helps. Adapted the slogan there. So what I want to know is this has been billed as the El Sacico by the press. Shan, who's going first in your opinion, Ollie or Nuno? And I'm not talking on the back of this game. I just mean generally this season.
I think Ollie will be gone before Nuno.
Okay, go for it. Tell us.
Very succinct, Jen. I'm like your short answer.
You might need to elaborate a little bit more on your responses.
I just think Ollie's had enough time. He's had what he went in after Jose got sacked. So, I mean, Jose's been sacked by us since then. So, yeah, I don't see. They've just had a lot more time together as a team. They've spent a fortune, and it's just not working for them, is it? Like it's just not. They're not going to go anywhere with Ollie at the wheel, and I think they're starting to see that. I think they've given him the next 3 games. If he don't pull out a rabbit out of the hat, then he's gone. Nuno, as much as he's boring me to sleep with his football, he hasn't had that much time. He's only on a 2-year contract. I think we all know he's just keeping the seat warm for someone else in the future. So.
Mark Hughes.
Steve Bruce.
Arju.
I do think if Poch gets sacked,
AVB.
if Poch gets sacked by PSG, I think Nuno will be gone and Poch will be back. I do think that, but I don't see that happening yet. And I do think Ollie will be the first to go.
I think the trouble is that both of the managers are not bad enough to be sacked, but not good enough to be successful. So you are in a quandary. No, Man United are too okay for Man United. They are. It is not too bad. We don't need to get rid. But then you have some bad games, and they go, it could be better. I think it is the same with Nuno at Tottenham. So I do not think that either of them will go soon. I think that perhaps the Italian man who I cannot pronounce his name because I am going to say it badly, and perhaps we get an X-rate on the pod. But I think perhaps at the start of next season he will be at Manchester, and I think that if Poch does not want to stay at PSG anymore, then yes, he will come to Tottenham. There is, I think, a clause that Levy has put in the contract that if we are not finishing the top 6, that he can just say bye-bye Nuno and thanks for all the fish.
I think this is a fair point from the cow that goes moo. Careful. Solskjaer has always been really dangerous whenever his back's against the wall. I'm not sure if he's been really dangerous, but he's certainly got out of trouble previously, hasn't he, HG? He seems to be able to put this run of form together whenever he needs it, just not consistently.
Yeah, I mean, they have quality players. I mean, it's really no different to Nuno in that respect. Spurs do have quality players that can win you games. United probably have more of them, and that's why they can win games. But like Solskjaer, like I don't know. I've always thought that Man United had a decent first 11, but for whatever reason, he would never really stick with one. He was always trying to rotate away from certain things. And like when it's Leicester away or Liverpool at home, he'll pick different teams. Whereas to me, they're pretty much similar opponents. If you think one is good enough for one, it should be good enough for the other. I just think that with Ollie's doing a worse job this season than Nuno is. I think we should say that Ollie's had much more time there. He spent a lot more money in the summer. The expectations are there for him to be better than where they are, and they're out of the League Cup already. The Champions League group, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not dominating that one. I just feel that if anyone's going to get sacked after Saturday, it will be if Spurs win, and then Ollie might go. But as Shan said, like unless Conte is right there and says, yes, I'm willing to take over, on Sunday morning, nothing's really going to change. They'll wait a little bit longer, maybe to the international break. But it's tough. Like I wouldn't want Ollie in charge of Spurs at all. And so to me, that's the obvious choice of which one's going to get sacked, because Nuno, as much as it's only been 9 league games. Like, I mean, when Kane scored that free kick that we all remember at Villa that apparently saved Pochettino's job, that was later in the season than where we are now. So I just think that obviously Nuno needs more time. Like, I'm losing patience with how we're playing, not necessarily with the results, but just how we're playing. It doesn't look like we really know what we're going to do. But if anyone's going to go, it has to be Ollie. There's no consistency with what United are achieving, and that's the problem.
Long time at the wheel.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the thing, isn't it? He's had long time at the wheel. I know we take the piss out of the old Ollie at the wheel stuff, and the Liverpool fans were doing a fantastic job of that at the weekend. But he's had 3 years now? Is it 3? Is it more than 3 years at United?
I think he's approaching 3 seasons. I think 3 seasons in January or something.
And he was never brought in as a long-term fix, was he? He was just someone to lift the morale up and get them through that season, put together a fantastic, or as they say in Birmingham, Boston run of results. And it's gone on from there, really. And every time his back's to the wall, I mean, the comment was actually right. Every time Ollie's in trouble, the team do seem to get him out of trouble. So he's just. But I want to pick up this point because we could talk about.
Can we just talk about Ollie? Can I just chop in for a minute?
What you mean is, can you talk?
Yeah. So Ollie,
must you?
Ollie's sliding doors moment was the Villarreal Europa final. He should have won that trophy that night, and it went to penalties. They lost. That was his moment. If he'd got his hands on the trophy, I think that would have been a game changer for him. And they didn't. And really, as you said, he was brought in to mend the culture at the club after Mourinho had destroyed everything by being horrible to everybody. And the Salford, not the Salford, or the Salford 92 or the Manchester 92 in the media have all been supporting him. And it's kind of backfired on them now. So I think he'll go. Conte is the most obvious choice for them. It will come in and he will win them the league title, not this season, next season. So I don't understand why they haven't pulled the trigger.
Well, who knows? I mean, is it a little bit about the next person just isn't ready to do the job? Is it that they're just waiting for the right time to put Conte in that job?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought possibly that Barcelona might have gone for Conte after they got rid of Koeman this week, but then Barcelona are skint, aren't they?
They're getting Xavi, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe. There's now 154 people watching, 157 people watching, and 60 likes. So Vlad's going to do us a little song on the guitar if we can get to 100 likes. So
You're the one for me to start tuning up the band, yes?
I think when we get to 80 likes, you need to start getting that guitar ready to strum, Vlad.
Okay, I'm good for this. I want to thank very much HT for pronouncing the Italian's name. It is good to have a cunning linguist who speaks many languages on the pod. And I want to ask you a little something, because I don't know if you are see that Mr. David Strappon is in the watching and making some comments. And I'm doing a pod with David the other day, and when he is listened back, he says. We do not talk about football very much, but it is lots of fun, and the pod is transgenital. What does he mean by this?
I've no idea. You tell me.
Well, I do not know. This is why I'm asking. I think HG, because he is a man of language, will know what Mr. Strapon is mean by a transgenital pod. I wonder perhaps if something is changing the trouser area for him. I do not know.
I have no idea who Mr. Strapon is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. David Strapon, you are remember. He is a friend of the cheese room. Mr. Strapon, make a comment, please, so HG will remember who you are. He is elderly and he struggled to remember many things.
I'm gonna go with this comment here, actually, Vlad. It's not the manager. Who do you have apart from? I'm assuming this is from Man United fans. So welcome to the show. Who do you have apart from Kane and Son, who's actually a title contender in your team? HG.
Well, I suspect Lloris would be there. He's right to a point. We don't have as many world-class players as we used to, but he also said that we're the worst London team, so he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. Look, Nuno to me isn't the issue. I don't like how he's got the team playing, but I don't think he's the massive issue. I think that we all know that we want to see better players at Spurs. We all know that we'd like to see improvements, not just in the squad, but in the team as well. But it's all about getting what you can from the players that you have. And Nuno's getting victories, but the performances aren't great, and we don't look convincing in anything really. So some of that is going to fall on Nuno. I think any manager really should be. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you should judge them based on what they do with what they have, and I don't think you can say that Nuno's really getting the best that he can with what he's got.
I think the United fan who's come on and made his comments. I'd say to him, well, I think United would rather have Skip or Højbjerg than Fred or McTominay for a start, and I'm sure they'd rather have Romero.
You'd rather have Eric Lamela in there than McTominay, wouldn't you?
Well,
but I think he's unfair.
Far.
He's being unfair, no? Because I think if you are to look at the squad, Doherty, Davis, Wings, they are walking to any championship contending side. Not a problem.
So to be fair, he says here he's a West Ham fan, so that's probably why he's talking bollocks.
No, he's eating his jelly deals. They've won the cup final, and he'll tomorrow be polishing his caravan. Hope he has a lovely weekend.
Polishing his caravan. It's not a euphemism, right?
So that's Vlad's department.
Also, they suddenly seem to think they're like the second biggest team in London. How many trophies have they won?
Oh, I don't think we're on
talk about trophies, man. This is a bad town.
I don't think that's a good thing to bring up, to be honest, Shan.
Well, no, actually, last time West Ham won a trophy, John Lennon was still alive.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's that long ago.
Continue.
Yeah, FA Cup, May 1980.
Yeah, and to be honest, we probably wanted to win that game because it was against Arsenal, a team that we actually see as rivals.
That's right.
It was the best falling over goal I have seen in many years.
Trevor Brookley,
he falls over and the ball hits him on the head and goes in the goal. It is fantastic, and it's nice to see the Arsenal lose for such a cheap shit goal.
And what was even nicer 4 days later was that really nice gentleman, Graham Rix, missed the penalty in the shootout against Valencia in the Cup Winners' Cup final. What a lovely week that was for Tottenham fans.
It was beautiful. They are still crying about this in their lattes, no?
Yeah, and Graham was still crying about it in the prison showers. Anyway, moving on.
Just to continue the flame, West Ham 6 trophies in their entire existence.
And they won the World Cup, don't forget.
Yeah, it is true. We can't forget that.
Shall we move on from the Happy Hammers and their government-funded stadium?
You don't seem to want to. I mean, you've put the Dildo Brothers in the run sheet here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
I'm not going to. The
Dildo Brothers came up in our Friday department call today.
Literally.
Did they really? Why?
One of them's a spammer, and he actually he almost referred to them as the Dildo Brothers, and then remembered that we were on an actual department call.
You are not allowed to talk about dildos at work, Shen.
Not at our department calls, probably not. No.
This makes it difficult to work for the Ann Summers, though, no?
Well, I don't work for Ann Summers, Vlad, so there's not a problem there.
Jesus, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. So, what's your favourite Spurs versus Man United memory, Vlad?
I think when we are off air, we are talk about this before. I think David is referred to it as the ghost goal. Pedro Mendes from the halfway line. I think it is a beautiful moment that we should still be celebrate, but because there is shitty referee and no VAR, it is not a goal. But for me, it was a magical strike, a beautiful moment that should have been something far bigger than it ended up being.
I mean, for me, my favourite memory of Man United Spurs actually came last season, to be honest, with Lamela getting, Martial sent off, and then we just absolutely spanked him. I mean, that was another time Ollie was under pressure, to be honest. There you go. Cal that goes moves, bringing it up. And Gov backing him up. Yeah, it was... just a monumental game. I've never seen a game that good against Man United, Shan. Have you got any other memories?
Off the top of my head, there's been a few good ones. There was the first win at Old Trafford in a very, very long time. I think under Poch. Was it under Poch?
Could be.
AVB.
AVB. Well, the first winner, I think it was what, 3-1? 3-2, yeah. So there's that game.
Yeah, I personally love and hate that game.
Explain.
Go on.
Why do you hate?
I don't know. I'm still waiting. Oh, he's gone.
We'll never know. We will never know.
Dave, what are you saying?
But look, surely for everyone as well, it's the last game at the Lane when we beat Man United.
We did. I mean, that was just a given. That was a perfect day, that wasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, you can't ignore that. I'm showing my age. 1989 went up there League Cup, and I think we won 2-0. And Fergie was in a whole heap of trouble then. And then having to get the bus back to another part of Manchester and having a beer with a load of mates who are Man City fans. So that was a good night for everyone involved. So, I think, and then I think Ozzy Ardiles in the FA Cup replay, I'm really showing my age, up at Old Trafford. Joe Jordan basically broke Melia Alexic's jaw in a disgraceful
And Glenn
challenge.
Hoddle is going goal, yes?
Yeah. And of course, as you talked about him before, the Lord Al Hod, it was his birthday this week. So happy birthday, Mr. Hoddle. And he went in goal. And Ozzy Ardiles scored an extra time with great curling goal. That one. And that was a great memory as well. So, obviously some shit memories going 3-0 up, half time, losing 5-3. I mean, I was in the gents at half time and then coming out thinking what I was going to say to the big boss at work, who's a big Man United fan, who's obviously from Surrey. I didn't have to worry about that at the end of the game. We've been smashed 5-3, so that was a bit of a shocker. So HG, you'd left us in suspense. You were going to.
You really did. You literally were about to spit it
HG,
out.
do not disagree with Shan again, because you will get booted one more time. But we were waiting in suspenders for your talk about the 3-2 game.
So to set it up, HG, the first time won at Old Trafford in many years. AVB the manager. In your typical way, you just said you hated it and loved it at the same time. Over to you.
Yeah, look, I loved it because it was a great victory, and I hated it because that second half was the closest I've ever had to having a heart attack watching Spurs. I know that United scored, I think, pretty early, and then we scored straight after to make it 3-1. You thought, okay, it's going to go well, and then they got their second, and it was basically backs to the wall for the rest of the game. And I really wanted Spurs to win that because we hadn't done it in such a long time. And I remember exactly where I was watching it, thinking, I'm going to die. Like, this game is never going to end. I think Rooney hit the post, could have made it 3-3. But yeah, I think it will always go down as the game that got me closest to a heart attack. I was so nervous, which, Man United away, usually we get beat. But that time it was like, well, yeah, we'll see what happens. And since then we've won, 2 more times? So it's not as scary as it was. But that particular game when Ferguson was still in charge, it was probably it is one of the most memorable games I've ever watched.
This is why, though, I am think of the Pedro Mendes, because this should have been the game. This should have been the game that took the pressure off and made it easier, and it could have been so much more than it was. I mean, we remember because we see the funny meme with the wiggly line and Carroll laying down and pulling the ball from the back of the net and nobody noticing. We remember all these things, but what we should remember is this was a fantastic performance that should have had us win for the first time in I don't know, maybe 35 years at Old Trafford.
In Dave Bolton, Carr 3-1 at the Lane.
Great goal.
There's been some good performances against United over the years. Not just. I've taken the troll out, by the way. So whoever's just chill out. It's fine. He's in timeout. Just literally, he'll come back raging in about 5 minutes, or maybe he won't. We'll see. Right, trivia. You ready for this? You can play along at home. 164 people watching, 71 likes now, 72 likes now. Vlad, you might have to tune up the band in a minute. When we get to 80, we're tuning that bad boy up, okay?
It's okay. I can do this. Not a problem.
So look, I want you to name the players, and you can play along in the chat, who've played for both teams, either loan or permanent. And I'm just going to nip to top up my beer while you're doing that.
Berbatov,
Yep.
Carrick.
Yep.
Sheringham.
Let's just all the players that we've sold to Man United over the years because they were better than we were.
Terry Gibson.
Very good, Vlad. Very good.
Oh,
Who
we're
else?
struggling.
Vlad, around that time, around that little part of time, there's two more. One was a loan and one went permanent. Around that
You must
time.
remember, I have done many drugs and alcohol since this time. I think the fact that I remember Terry Gibson is fantastic. Somebody else must take some of the weight. I cannot do all of this myself.
Do you want to bring up some of the suggestions on the thing, or do you want to have it? Well, you're going to read the suggestions and you'll find and they're the correct answers.
Are you asking me? Or somebody else who can read? I do not read English.
Well, looking at the run sheet where you put the initials of them.
Yeah. That was on purpose.
Yeah, is that because I cheated last week?
Maybe.
I'm assuming that AB is Alan Brazil.
Correct.
And someone put Fraser Campbell. I saw that. And Terry
Correct.
Gibson. GC Garth Crooks.
That's right.
But this is saying that Fraser Campbell is ever played for Tottenham. I am see him turn up, but I have never seen him play.
It was that great deal. Do you remember, Vlad, where we got rid of Berbatov and got in Fraser Campbell? You remember that great piece of business, don't you?
This was fantastic business. This is like giving somebody a Porsche and getting a Skoda in return.
Correct. So we got some more. So I think we've pretty much got all of them. There's a couple. There's one very obscure one from the 70s, which I'd say a guy called Chris McGrath, who played for Tottenham and Man United. And then there was Zaki Friars is there as well. That was the player.
Oh yeah, Zaki.
Yeah, that was the player who went from Man United to, I think, Standard Liège, and like 2 days later signed for Tottenham, and Fergie got very upset about that, which was just great for the comedy value. So I think we've got everybody.
Wow, you've done well there, Dave. Another one of your wonderful quizzes.
Pleasure.
Some allegations going on here, though. Sam's saying Shan is Googling the answers.
Well, that's why I put initials on the run sheet this time.
And Dave Bolton, Shan horribly Googling Vlad?
This is a reference to Son of Fellows, who spends most of the podcast horribly Googling. I cannot say more than this. I have seen his search history. It is disturbing, even for me.
Well, there you go. It's disturbing for everybody, I think. Right, so let's get round the room with some predictions then. So massive game on Sunday. I'm excited. Shan, are you excited to be there in my seat?
I've had chest pains all day. I don't know if it's a bit of anxiety about going.
Probably the sloppy Giuseppe.
No, this was before that.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
Was it when you found out that Vlad was going to be on the show tonight?
No.
It is a palpitation. It is not a pain.
No, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not in typical fashion when I'm about to go down there. I'm always looking forward to it, but deep down I set myself up for disappointment and upset.
It is the hope that kills you, Shen.
It is it's the as long as it doesn't all fall apart in front of the North Stand again. I think I'll be all right. If it does happen, I don't think I'll ever recover, and that'll be me just mentally inept for the rest of my life.
Can we please refer to the stand in a different way? I do not like the North Stand. It reminds me too much of the mugs and the library. I think we must have a better name. Perhaps the Vlad Stand or something like this would work better.
Or maybe even name it after a player or a person who's served the club so well over the years. But no,
this is what I'm saying, the Vlad Stand.
Yeah, well, okay, Vlad, that would be the first name on the list. Would you and Svetlana be there at the opening?
Svetlana is very good with openings, yes.
I gave you that, Vlad.
You're
So-
welcome. You
Shan,
set them up, I will
Shan,
knock them down.
hang on, don't make me mute you. Shan, what prediction is the score? Come on then, give us a score.
I'm gonna be positive and say 2-1, but it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being a 0-0 Borefest.
0-0. Christ, with that defence and that forward line, surely not. HG.
Yeah, 1-1. They'll cancel each other out. They're both crap. They're 1-1.
Well, I've got to say before we get to it, there's lots coming through the chat. 1-1. Icebreaker, who's a premium member, says 3. We'll lose 3-1. That's optimism for you. Gov 3-1. Son Romero and Lucas. Put your bets on now. That's probably a good acca. Gov 3-2 on the first half. Silent Dove 2-1. Spurs. Kane and Skip. I don't think Skip scored for us yet, has he?
No,
No.
he's very close to score against the spam, but does not quite manage this.
John, I fear a 3-1 defeat. Oof, Ollie's time up 2-1. A suggestion for the name of the stand there, Dave?
I'd fly over for that ceremony.
United 4-1 from the Immaculate D. Einstein's Cat 3-3. Dave Bolton, shout out, Dave. Pundit extraordinaire 6-0. I think that's a reference to you, Vlad, by some shape or other. Bliss Figurant 3-0. There's so many predictions coming in. HG, you've sort of stated yours. Let's go to you next, Dave. What are you saying?
I said in the Patreon prediction leave that we'll lose 2-1. I think it was at the Palace game. I predicted we'd lose at the Palace game, but I was so energized by the cheese room on a Friday night, I changed it to us beating the Palace. So I'm not going to be in it. I'm going to refuse the energy tonight. We're going to lose 2-1. Eric Dyer, own goal.
Thanks, Dave. That's real positive energy. Vlad, what you say? What say you, sir?
First, I want to congratulate Mr. David, because you are managed to be more of a miserable twat than HG. This is a big achievement. Congratulations for you. I think that you are make some good points. There are goals because both defenses are shit. There are gaps to be exploited. I think that it will be a back and forth, tipsy-turvy, toppy-bottomy kind of game. And I think that at the end of this, we will win 6-0.
Well, I'm going to say that we are going to draw 2 each. And similar to HG, it will be the battle of who's the worst, to be honest. The worst of the big 6 teams. So, hopefully. I wish I was this confident, to be honest. 1-0 Spurs, come on. Manchester United's away goal liability is 1 or 2. So
How many times have we scored twice in a game this season so far?
And that's what sort of, yeah.
That's a genuine question, not a comment.
Not many. Not many is the answer.
There's the Ren game.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Newcastle, we scored
yeah.
3.
Oh, it's a few then.
Wolves in the cup.
Wolves in the
No,
cup.
it was
There
1-1,
you go.
wasn't it? Oh, it was
No,
2-2. You're right. It was 2-2. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a few times. Nice.
You can just see the Spurs fans are so optimistic. 97-minute Ronaldo free kick to win it after we unexpectedly played brilliant for 96 minutes. Richard says 7-1 Spurs. Yeah, I like that.
Richard V. Blimey.
Richard V. Christ, he's back from the grave. Isn't he buried in Leicester or something? Or is that the third?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a Richard IV yet. I think it's only.
I think it's up to 3. And he was under a car park in Leicester.
It amazes me that they are managed to bury him under a car park, because the concrete is very tough to get through, and they do not have the drill at this time. It is amazing, no?
Concrete also grows, don't you know, as well? It grows.
Didn't know that, Shan, does it?
Didn't David Pleat
Thank
find
you
him in
for
the car
this
park?
useful information. I will take this into my other football jobs. It will help very much.
According to, is it Mike Graham on Talk Radio, concrete grows.
There you go.
Fantastic. Who is this Mike Graham man?
Yeah,
He sounds
I'm not
like
sure
a
the
lion.
Aussie based. I'm not sure they know who that is, Shan. It's probably best that they don't.
Well,
I have not heard of him in Siberia, Lloyd. So
what I'm going to say is, Vlad, there's 161, nearly 170. There's 170 people watching. 83 likes. So Vlad, tune up the band. We need 17 likes for
One
Vlad
second.
to. Oh, see, there's the guitar. 17 likes needed to get a song from Vlad. This will
It
be
is ready to go.
So let's all hit the like button now.
Is it going to be a love song to Shannon, Vlad?
Get to those 100 likes.
Of course. I'm not going to sing a love song to you, David. You are a handsome man, but you are not my type.
I mean, you can only write, and you can only rhyme David with Rabid, so that would be tricky, I think.
Definitely Rabid. Definitely Rabid. John of the Cheesing's got a question. Is Pogba missing a good thing for Spurs? John, you should have been watching this the whole way through because we did discuss it earlier on. But we'll recap briefly because I don't think I ever came to Vlad on this, did I?
No, you are not come to Vlad many times. It is okay. I understand that the other children must play as well. HG is the one who says that Pogba missing is a good thing. I do not think anybody is disagree with this. I think yes, we are fortunate he cannot play, but if we can find a way, of course, of taking Fernandez out as well, this will be very helpful. He is for me more scary than Ronaldo. If Ronaldo does not have the ball given to his feet or to his head in the place where he is choosing to stand, then nothing is happened. Fernandez for me is a far better player now.
Well, interesting. Burnley. Let's talk Burnley. Shannon, have you woken up yet? Why is it every time I look at you, you've got your mouth full?
It's because Vlad's on the show.
It's not that long that it stretches from Siberia to the north of England.
I'm not in the north of England. Jesus Christ, I'm in the East Midlands.
Oh,
it would be further to get to the East Midlands, no?
Yeah, that's true.
So, Shannon, have you fully recovered from your Burnley watch along?
Just about. It was torture. I did say it was more painful having my appendix removed. But it was more painful watching Spurs and Burnley than having my appendix removed. Sorry. It was just so dull. Again, you have all the ball and you do well to get into positions to try and then do the business in the final third, but it just all flops. And then it will go out for a fry up, I'm thinking of fry up.
Fry up? Fry up!
It'll go out for a throw, and then we'd have it again and repeat. And then there'd be a couple of occasions where Burnley would be knocking it around on the edge of our box, getting crosses in, and that terrifies me because we're shit. Yeah. I'm just a bit confused by this, if I'm honest. What's
that? I think what that is a Wolves fan saying, yeah, good fight. Come on, you Spurs. Let's beat Man United 2-0 because he's thinking that mid-table clash, when they meet later on in the season, Wolves and Man United will be huge. And any advantage they can get over them now is a bonus.
This is why you are paid the big bucks, because you can tell that this is a Wolves fan. You are an amazing man caller.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say so.
Here we go. Burnley game. Ball was moved sideways and back, not creating much as normal. We have no creative players. I think we have the players to be able to actually get into the final third and be a threat. We're getting the ball to the final third. It's just when the ball is there, no one else is. And that is the big problem.
I think that's true. I accept the point Vlad made earlier on in the show. And I thought we created a good 4 chances, like real quality chances. That one GLC should have stuck in the top corner. Kane had a couple of really good half chances.
4 in 90 minutes. Whoa.
No, but they were quality chances, HG.
Whoa.
If being really honest, we've not been creating much at all. That's the thing.
No, but we haven't had much of the ball. I mean, against Burnley, we dominated the game and we couldn't do anything with it.
Well, we didn't. No,
that's just it.
We did do stuff with it, didn't we? Because we created 4 clean-cut good chances for starters.
Yeah, but I don't see that as good. I'm surprised you do.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'd like 8 clean-cut good chances. But if you make it, I mean, these are really good chances. If you're making those, then you're going to win games comfortably.
Every glorious cup run has some dodgy games in it. It's a dodgy game. We got the result in the next round. Job done.
Exactly. And that is all that matters. But 22 and a half minutes per good chance when you have all the ball, no, sorry, not good enough for me. My standards are higher.
I am think that the caller is just say that this is an improvement. We are creating some better quality chances than we had before. It is like HG. You are when you are a younger man, you are go to a nightclub and you are go to talk to a pretty lady. She throws a glass of wine in your face. This is not a good chance. But on rare occasions, the ladies say, "Okay, you can buy me a drink," and then it is up to you whether you are on target and finish the chance or not. But the chance is create, yes.
Yes, but that's a terrible example. But yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go with it.
It is not terrible. It is just different.
There's 92 likes now. There's 92 likes. We're so close. 138 people watching. Please smash that like button up.
We are edging, no?
We are edging closer to Vlad playing the guitar, which I'm not sure if everyone likes reading the chat, but fuck it. Quite frankly, if you don't,
I'm
like
excited for it. I want to hear it.
I want to hear it, and that's all that really counts. So if we want to hear it, HG, we will hear it.
Can you like yourself?
Get us those likes, people. Dave,
I thought you liked yourself quite a lot, Vlad.
I do, but then I am always right, so it is okay.
Dave,
hello, hi.
Where's the decorum?
Sorry,
the Mora goal.
Yeah,
talk me through it. You saw the highlights, right?
Yeah, I saw the goal. I thought he headed it down the ground, bounced up, went in. I thought it was quite a lucky goal, to be honest. Great cross by Emerson Royale, and Mora got a goal. I mean, I know that HG will contradict me here. When was the last time Mora got a goal? Doesn't feel like it was recent.
I don't know if I can contradict you when you haven't guessed.
I don't. The statement is, I feel like Mora hasn't scored a goal in a long time. HG.
Oh, yeah, because there was the one that he almost got against Villa, but it went down as an own goal. I don't think there's been one this season outside of that. Again, Mora doesn't score, which is why I wouldn't play him. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a head. He headed it into the ground and bounced over the goalie, so it was a lucky goal, really. But we won. As I said, when we lift the trophy in February against West Ham, and we're back in the Europa Conference League for next year. That's a good season.
I do not think it is a lucky goal. I think if he is head in the air, it is easier for a Pope to save. I think that he does the right thing. He's not going to get to the top corner with power, so he heads into the ground and bounces high. Pope cannot get. I think it is a good header, good cross, good header. I don't know why you are so down on him. And I thought perhaps there was a rule in the cheese room that we have to call him Lucas. Is this not the same anymore?
Well, it's only really Brendan that gets hung up on that, if I'm honest, Vlad. And Brendan's generally banished to Thursday night pods that no one really listens to, so we don't have to listen. We don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Okay, I now I know the rules. I can learn how to break them.
Yeah, you can say Mora as much as you like. It's fine.
Fantastic.
Brendan,
I don't want to say very often.
I'm of course only joking and love you lots. Or a long time. We are at, how many likes are we at, Shan? Shan, are you awake, Shan? 95! I'm
still asleep from the Burnley game, sorry.
It's hard work, this. I tell you, it's really hard work. 105 people, please do subscribe and like. I want to hear Vlad play the guitar, so just please indulge me. I want to see if he's any good.
So if Vlad sounds like Swiss Tony, then Calder looks like Swiss Tony. Surely Ed M would agree with me on that one.
Horse. I don't think anyone's going to agree with you on that. I mean, it is
you are the spitting image of Swiss Tony, Caller.
The worry for you here is people say that I look like you.
Yeah.
And therefore you look like Swiss Tony too.
Yeah, but I don't get offended by that, whereas you do, which is why I call you middle-aged, because you don't like that either.
I'm not middle-aged. It's a fact.
Yeah, see?
99 likes.
But HG is right. You look like his older brother.
Look, I'm 39, 40 in January. Then when I get to about 42, then I'll consider myself middle-aged because I'm not going to die till at least 84, 85. That's my logic.
Hopefully by this time Tottenham will win a trophy, no?
I doubt that.
That'll be when he dies because he'll die out of shock. That's what will happen.
Yeah,
mate.
Absolutely.
Maybe Kane's contract would have expired by then.
Can I just say it's the big draw tomorrow morning, isn't it? I think, Shan, you should do a little live, 10-minute live of the draw or something tomorrow morning. while I'm working.
What time is it?
Oh, it's about 10 a.m. or something.
I think it's about 10:30. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
You'll be well out of bed. Be well out of bed.
Got to have a shower.
I don't like this. Caller is more Swiss roll, but given that you've spelt roll as a job role, that's fine.
Still funny though.
If you're
I
going to be
think you
funny,
must share David Strapon's comment. It is funnier.
if you're going to be funny, at least be grammatically correct and funny. Caller is 39. That's what living up north does for you. Yeah, Dave, I miss you. Let's talk. Let's talk. Who do we want in the next round? The draw's tomorrow morning. Chan's going to do a live watch along. We'll put the details for that later.
When did I agree to this?
Shan is doing a watch along in her drawers in the morning. Is this what you are saying?
Shan, who would you like in the next round?
Sunderland at home.
Perfect. HG?
Yeah, Sunderland at home.
Dave?
West Ham at home. Let's beat them.
Oh, Vlad, what say you?
Just to be a little controversial, I want to have Liverpool away.
Yeah, so does Count Moloch. Yeah, caller is more like 59. I mean, I wish I was, because I'd be retired and living the life really on cruises and all sorts of nice stuff. So, yeah.
Cruises? You are 59 already if you like cruises.
Well, no,
He likes to go cruising on a Friday, HG. So
what I mean is, I've never been on one. I'm looking forward to my retirement to experience such things as traveling the world on a boat. Wouldn't that be lovely? Do you not think that'd be lovely?
No, there are no boats that do not have COVID. You cannot do this.
I've worked on a cruise ship.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think you'd fit in very well with people who go on cruise ships, caller. So enjoy yourself.
Because they are elderly, yes?
Correct. Bingo in the afternoon, a little bit of a nap.
My retirement is going to be great. I'm telling you now, I'll be retired very early and very happy. Vlad, where does the Carabao Cup sit in our list of priorities?
I think it is probably number 2. I do not think we are going to win the league. I do not think we are going to qualify for the Champions League. I think we have a number 1 priority is the Europa Conference, because we can get to the UEFA Cup thingy from this, and then under this it is the Carabao Cup. Is this the answer you all want, or do you want me to try be funny about this?
No, that's fine.
There is nothing funny about the Carabao Cup.
Your view, Shan?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think probably second.
Really?
Yeah, well, we always flop.
You
in
do
the
know
FA
what
Cup,
you do know what you get when you win the Carabao Cup, don't you?
Yeah, you get Conference League.
We
And
don't
in
want to be back
SPH.
there.
Well, no, but if we win the Conference League, which is why it's number 1, you get into the Europa League.
Surely, League number 1, Conference League number 2, League Cup 4th after the FA Cup.
Why would you prioritize something that you cannot win? This is like you saying, I am prioritizing going to bed with Kylie Minogue. This is not going to happen for you.
Tell you
Settle
what,
for Ulrika Johnson. This could happen.
I should be so lucky. Look, the reality is that
And see what you do.
we have got a good chance of winning the Europa Conference. We've got no chance of winning the league, but we can get top 6 or 5th.
But I'd just like to have
Or
a trophy
fourth,
so
maybe.
people can stop saying Spurs are scared of trophies.
But Shan, they'll only moan that it's a shit trophy, won't they?
But
Let's
it's
be
still a
honest.
trophy,
It's still a trophy.
and it's one
Well,
that's winnable.
Craig says Conference League is bottom of priorities. It shouldn't be. Should be our top priority, in my opinion.
Then why are you just say the league is the top priority? You are contradict yourself.
Top cup priority after the league. Yeah. Sam agrees. League Cup is the least important of all the comps. I agree. Cup says our season. We'll do nothing in league. Bring on the Carabao, whatever. It's weird that it's an energy drink that doesn't even make it on sale in most places in the UK, isn't it? There's 98 likes, 2 more likes, and Vlad sings. So maybe the people are holding off deliberately, Vlad. Maybe they don't
You think they are trying to last for longer before they are press the button? Yes, this is admirable. I like this.
Spurs better than Arsenal, definitely. West Ham, possibly. Leicester, doubtful. Don't know about that. There you go.
Can I ask you, Colin? Let me ask you a question. You are asked people many questions. At the start of the season, where are you say you are happy for us to finish in the league?
Happy? I want to be in the top four.
Being a realist, where are you think we can finish and you will go, this is okay?
Where do I think? I think we can finish 6th, 5th. I don't think we're good enough to finish 4th, but having said that, how bad Man United are, it's wide open right now. If Man United replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with someone competent, then all of a sudden I think that 4th spot becomes taken as well. But
you have said your priority is the league, then the Europa, and then the League Cup. So at the moment, we are 6th in the league. We are going to get through the Europa to the knockouts, and we are in the quarterfinals of the League Cup. So are you happy with the season?
No.
But we are where you think we should be. So why are you not happy? This is a genuine question. I want to understand.
No,
why you're not happy.
I understand the question, Vlad. I was on your pod discussing the same thing not so long ago, and the answer is still the same. We should be aiming to be top 4. Absolutely, because Champions League football is the most important thing to this club. However, I think the squad is 5th, 6th at best. But the key but is I want us to see us playing a little bit more attractive football and creating chances. And that's been the biggest issue so far this season. We just haven't created lots of chances.
And I think if you ask everybody around the pod here that even if we are in 4th playing the football we are playing now, we are still going to be miserable twats because it is not how we want to see the game play.
Well, we're not going to be miserable for much longer because Vladimir, it is time for your song.
Before I do my song, I just want to follow the point. Ask everybody around the table if we finish 4th playing the football we are playing, are they happy?
Okay, 4th, Shan, playing the football we're playing, are you happy?
I don't think we can finish 4th playing the football we're playing because we're not creating enough chances to score goals and we're conceding more than we're scoring. So,
but would you be happy?
Yeah, I'd be happy if we finish 4th, but I don't think we can play in the way.
Hear that Champions League music playing at the new stadium again. To see the little kids ruffling the football in the middle of the pitch. I'd love it. HG.
Oh, yeah, of course I'd be happy with 4th.
There you go.
I mean, of course I would be.
Dave?
Yeah, I'd be... if we're playing boring football and we get 4th, yeah, of course I'd be happy.
Be careful. That pill is really working on you.
Yeah, but we're not going to get 4th, are we? Because
you can see below the table, caller, can you?
We're not... that's my microphone, Vlad, hey? We're not going to get 4th, are we? And I said before the start of the season, well, I'd like us to get a Europa League qualification and play some attractive football and have a decent cup run. My expectations were low. And I also said I think we'd finish behind the Goons. And I was shouted down for that. And we'll see what happens there. So we have a squad that we have, which is just not fit for purpose. And where we are now is, in terms of the priorities, I apologise to HG because I thought the Carabao Cup winning that got us into the Europa. I was wrong, HG, and I am sorry about that. And therefore, but it makes the Conference League getting into Europa is probably more of a priority. But I think one of the reasons the last 2 cups we won was the League Cup is because the bigger teams deprioritised it and we took advantage of it. Anyway, over to Vlad in this song.
I'm very excited about this. I'm not sure if I should be that excited about it, but Vlad, over to you.
Shannon, as I'm going to sing this to you as a token of my love, I want you to look into Vlad's eyes, please. Vlad's eyes are a little higher, please, Shannon. Thank you. This is much better. You already know that I can't smile without you. Can't smile without you. I can't laugh and I can't sing I'm finding it hard, very hard, to do anything. You know, I feel sad when you're sad. You feel glad when you're glad. If you only know what I'm going through, I just can't smile without you.
I must say, Vlad,
That
that
is
was very
beautiful,
good.
no? Huh?
That was beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
That is one
That
of
was
my
great.
favorites.
Yeah, that was great. Actually, that was one of the highlights of the cheese room.
You're welcome. Feel
Can
free
we
to share.
Can we bring up Shashank's comment there?
Who? Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
will. He's a spammer, right? If you finish with West Ham, I'll donate $1,000 to this channel.
Cool,
We
great,
will
thanks,
hold
mate.
you to this, no?
We will
Yep.
hold you to this. It's there.
And have a big piss up.
I'm sure
Yes.
you're good for it.
Let's hope Antonio and his hammies keep up for the whole season. Good luck.
You could clear any room with that voice. Bit harsh.
I think it's referring to me in my monotone.
Also, please, I've heard worse, but please let it be only once. Yeah, there we go.
You are welcome. I'm
Hey.
happy to do this many times.
Weirdly brilliant.
That's the best summary.
That's the best summary.
You must remember that this is not my first language, but if I sing it in Russian, nobody understands.
We might ask for that next time, so you never know. Right, listen, switching gears slightly. No Delhi, no Winks in the matchday squad midweek. Music to my ears. Music to my ears. Is this the end for them, Shan?
Yeah, I think they should both be looking for moves in January. I don't think they're going to be making it into the first 11, barring a disaster. So yeah, I think they're done.
Shout out Silent Dove with the super chat. Thank you, Vlad. Hashtag
You are
thank you,
most
Vlad.
welcome.
It's going to be trending on Twitter in the morning. Hashtag thank you, Vlad.
Yeah.
Shan has been using this for the last week. I can tell you, she's a wild lady. I'm seeing many interesting things and learn much. For somebody to educate Vlad is a big thing. So thank you, Shan.
Vlad, sticking with you, Winks and Delhi. I know you are a preacher of tolerance, of incompetence. Do you think those two players should remain at Spurs, or should they now be shifted as soon as possible?
To be fair, if I am not support incompetence, you would still not have the job. But I think that Winks is not going to fit in the team, and I am said before that since the injury, he's not the same player, and he needs to move to a club that suits him better, which is sad because I like him very much. He's a very nice man. I would like to give him a nice big cuddle. Delhi is a different fish of kettles. I think that he has so much talent, but without a system that suits him, he will not be the player that we fall in love with. And I do not see the system change at the moment. Perhaps if we can hang on for another manager, he still has a future. But without the system, Delhi is not the player that we love.
HG, you've been a lifelong supporter of Delhi at his time at Spurs. You've been very, very generous.
I've just said basically what Vlad said. Like Delhi to me is a striker. He's a second striker, but he plays up front. He shouldn't be playing anywhere else. Under Mourinho last year, he didn't play at all. But I think that if you want him to play in midfield, we're not good enough for that to happen. He needs to be up top. Now, we've talked about playing three at the back. We could easily go 3-5-2 and have two of Kane, Son, and Delhi as the two strikers. I think that could work too. But I think Delhi, the issue that we're seeing now with Winks and with Delhi is probably similar to what we saw with Dombele in the summer. They've probably said they wouldn't mind going, and Nuno said, right, if you want to go, then you're not going to be in the side. And that's what happened with Dombele. As soon as Dombele was staying, he was put back into the starting 11 pretty much straight away. So it's clear to me that certainly Winks and probably Delhi as well have come out and said, I wouldn't mind finding another club in January. I think personally that there'll be more takers for Delhi than there will be for Winks, but that's
Winks is shite, isn't it? Really?
No, I Delhi at one point has proven to be a Premier League goal scorer, and those do not grow on trees. They're not made of concrete. So I think that the interesting thing will be is that, let's say let's say a good team comes in for Delhi. Do you think that would make Levy more likely to sell or less? Because that's the thing. Like Winks, we all know that there's probably not going to be a good team that's going to come in for him. And if they do, he's only going to play 15, 20 games a season like he's doing at Spurs. But with Delhi, like there's always going to be that nagging feeling that if he does turn things around, then we'll have given someone away on the cheap. And so, of course, Levy's going to want to try and sell them both abroad. But then who's got the money? It really is a bit of a dilemma. What do you do? Last year, we decided to keep Delhi and hope he turned things around. It hasn't happened. I still maintain that if he was played up top, then it might happen. But in the system that we have right now, we can't carry him in midfield. He just doesn't have the energy required to play that role. He's not a number 10 in my eyes. So, yeah, what do? Do you basically sell him and hope to strengthen the way that Nuno wants to play with players that can play that way? Or do you keep him and say to Nuno, hey, look, try and find a system where he can get back to his best? It's, I think that's quite a big dilemma, to be honest.
But I think even with Winks, if you send him to France or to Spain or to Italy, he will have more time and this will suit him much better. He still has a good range of pass. He's just not able to play under the pressure that he is finding in the Premier League since he's had the injury. I think he still has a future, but it is just probably not even in the Premier League, but definitely not at Tottenham.
I think that the sad thing with Winks is that the 4-3-3 that Nuno is now playing is probably the formation that suits Winks the best, right? Because he's going to be one of those two that play on the side of the defensive midfielder. And then in theory, he could use that mobility that he has to affect both ends of the pitch. He doesn't do that. And that's a problem. And so I think that's probably why at some point you'll think, well, when are you going to show the things that you showed when you were first in the team back in 2016, 2017? It's I don't know. But to answer Dorso's question, like I think if you're going to play two up front, I mean, that's as far as I'm concerned, that's what Dave was suggesting earlier. Just to Kane and Son up front with two wingers playing as the wide players. Whether you call it a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2, you're playing two strikers if Kane and Son are there. If you went three at the back, you could go, with wing backs and have 2 out of 3 creative midfielders probably in those 3 in the middle. But I think Kane and Son as a partnership have proven to work. I think Kane and Delhi as a partnership have proven to work. And there is definitely proof that I think, Son and Delhi together have worked. So if you're going to get the best out of those 3, maybe you can't play all 3 of them together right now because the rest of the team isn't strong enough. But 2 of them, absolutely.
Okay. Well, as it's Halloween, we're going to finish with a question. What was your biggest nightmare experience of supporting Spurs? And let's go to Dave first, because I'm sure he's had more nightmares than most of us waking up and looking at himself in the mirror in the morning.
Cheap and rude, but I'll rise above that with the dignity I have for that comment. I had a genuine nightmare. Well, actually, when I was a kid, I genuinely had a nightmare that I was going to sign for Arsenal. So that was a genuine nightmare. Woke up with night terrors, and my late father came in to see if I was all right. So that was a genuine nightmare. I'm going to sign for Arsenal. But the genuine nightmare as an adult I had was when 1998, when the nightmare was the Gooners were going to win the league and we were going to get relegated under Christian Gross. So I was genuinely having nightmares about that. So that is the ultimate Tottenham nightmare for me on Halloween.
That's fair enough. And I don't mean any disrespect towards your face. It's beautiful. It's your soul that's black. HG, over to you.
That's not in doubt.
To me, it will always be my first Spurs gut punch. And I think we all remember the first time when Spurs, you got your hopes up and then they let you down badly. The first one is kind of obscure. We played Aston Villa at home in 92 or 93. I had a season ticket then. And we were 3-0 down after 25 minutes. And then we had this stirring comeback. We got back to 3-3. Klinsmann was playing, so it must have been 94, 95. Klinsmann was playing. Great, we're going to go. We're going to win the game. And Dean fucking Saunders got a last-minute winner for Villa. And I remember sitting in my Paxton Road seat thinking, I can't believe that. I was genuinely gutted. And so that is probably, I mean, it's happened a couple of times since. The Everton semi-final is one that, awful, that sinking feeling. But the first Spurs gut punch, we've all had them. And that's the one for me, Villa at home.
Good stuff. Shan, your view?
My first live nightmare was this season's Chelsea game. It's just in my head.
That
It
was a
replays over and over again in my head. Yeah, horrible. There's been many occasions. I think the Bayern 7-2, that was pretty bad. I think that pretty much
was bad.
was going to go. That was awful. I don't think it gets any worse than the Bayern 7-2 at home. If I'm honest.
But Poch is the saviour. You get him back, you'll have more 7-2s, surely.
Yeah, hopefully on the other side we'll win 7-2. No, I didn't want Poch to go. I think he was screwed over by Levy quite a lot. He said we needed a rebuild. He weren't given the opportunity to do it, and I'd like to see him come back and prove himself to us all.
I don't want him coming back.
I don't think he was stiffed by Levy at all. I think our form was fucking terrible when he went. We were 15th. I watched us play against Sheffield United in the game before he got sacked. He deserved to be sacked. However, my Spurs nightmare was Arsenal winning the league at White Hart Lane 2004, same as Mark Jones. There you go. That year, obviously, Arsenal did the Invincibles. Have won the league at White Hart Lane, as they like to tell us. So that's pretty much nightmare scenario. But also, on a Man United topic, that 3-0 down and losing 5-3, that was pretty horrific because a lot of my mates are Man United fans. And I was...
Because you are up north, yes?
Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. If I was up north, there'll be Chelsea fans or something. No, the United fans are all down in London, aren't they? Sorry, to be exact. But... yeah, a lot of United fans, my friends, and I was lauding it at 3-0 up at half time and then to lose 5-3, disastrous. But we've got loads of these examples as Spurs fans. Vlad, your biggest nightmare?
I think the first time that footballers make me cry is the Milk Cup final in the 80s when Liverpool are beat us. It is a very sad day. Vlad's father is a Liverpool fan, and he is a complete arse about it, and it is upset the young player very, very much. But if we are to talk about nightmares, and I'm look at David's example, my biggest nightmare as a young man is finding a lady who was as adventurous as Vlad in the bedroom, and then discovering that she is an Arsenal fan. This could not work.
There you go. It couldn't at all. So, I mean, that is all we've got time for this evening. We've been going an hour and 47 minutes. I want to thank you all for the energy that you brought to the show, especially you, Dave, on your happy pills. Dave, thanks for joining us all the way from Oz.
Pleasure. Lovely to see you all.
HG, once again, thanks for soldiering on, by the way, because I know you're a bit poorly at the moment. Got a bit of man flu. It's probably not going to be COVID. It's going to be man flu, let's face it. And
let's hope so, yeah.
I thank you for joining us again this evening.
No, cheers. Always enjoy it. It's weird to think Spurs are playing on a Saturday. Tomorrow night, I can say to my family, "Get lost. I'm watching the Spurs on a Saturday." Brilliant.
Shan, thanks for taking my ticket for tomorrow, because I couldn't go. And thanks for joining us after your sloppy Giuseppe. It's been emotional.
No worries. I would say that the sloppy Giuseppe was better, but I'd be lying to myself. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Well, I am and I'm not. We know how it is being Spurs, but yeah, thanks for having me.
Every now and again, you get a nice surprise, though. I mean, when I went to see us against Real Madrid, I genuinely thought we're probably going to get spanked, and we spanked them. It happens.
Yeah, but I've had that this season with City, so...
Yeah, it's probably downhill from there. Vlad, thank you once again coming back on the Cheese Room, and thank you for that wonderful ode to Shan.
You are more than welcome. I am also want to thank HG for soldiering on. And you always have a beautiful voice, but you are sounding very sexy today with this croak. I'm almost ready to jump the fence. So thank you for introducing Vlad to a new experience.
Anytime, Vlad, anytime.
And until Saturday. I keep saying Sunday. I know I keep saying Sunday. It's because I'm so used to us playing on a Sunday. Tomorrow afternoon, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Austria Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs.
Only Spurs.